All right. Guys, welcome to the Pack, 8 o'clock every single Monday night. Welcome to the Pack Team Call. I'm so excited to have you here. For the coaches that have joined this week, I'm so excited to have you. This is probably one of the best and most informative and awesome calls you can possibly be on, especially in your first week for those of you that are here. But other than that, in case you didn't know, you have joined one of the best and fastest growing teams in the Beachbody Network. We're so excited to have you. Welcome to the family. Other than that, let's get into it. Tonight, we have a very, very, very great friend of mine. Lindsay Krause is going to be taking our call for us. For those of you that don't know, I actually met Lindsay at a DJU event originally, and got a chance to meet several of her coaches, and all of them were so cool and came up to me and were forming me and doing an amazing job, like figuring out who I was and all that great stuff. I'm like, who's teaching you? And then all of a sudden they pointed that little blonde girl over there in the corner with the blue on the end of her hair. So anyway, Lindsay has been an amazing, amazing friend of mine, and has taught me a lot, taking time out of her day to instruct me, to give you all the benefits that we have as a team today. For those of you that don't know, Lindsay has been a coach for 3 years now. She is now a six-star diamond coach. Okay, a six-star diamond coach means she personally sponsored 6 coaches that have reached the diamond rank. Other than that, she is a 3-time elite coach. For those of you that don't know, elite coaches are within the top couple hundred, I forget how many, but within the top 1% of Beachbody. So thank you again so much, Lindsay, for taking the time out. She's been a 3-time elite coach, 2012, 13, and 14. So thank you again so much for taking your time out, and I'm going to let you take this one away.
You're welcome. Thank you. I'm excited to take some of your time for the next half hour or so. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to just open it up, and hopefully that you have a couple questions that a lot of other people have questions about, and we can kind of answer each other's unknown questions together. And so, like Sam said, we met at Dynasty, which was previously this spring, and he was humble enough and hungry enough to pull me aside and ask me if he could have some time to answer some questions of me. So I'm really honored to be on this call tonight because he's doing it all right, and you guys have got a great leader in him, and hopefully I can answer some questions to you, or at least point you in the direction to where you can get some of these answers, similar to how I've learned myself. So why don't we just go around the table? We can, from the top right hand of my corner, I have Wendy. So Wendy, if you want to go ahead, if you have any questions, I'm an open book right now. I'd love to help you.
Okay, actually, my first question for you is, because I've been working with different forms of social media, I wanted to know what form you like to work the best. What's worked for you?
Okay.
Something that you use the most, and really how it's been effective for you.
Okay. There's a lot of formats out there, and there's too many formats out there to really do them all. So let me ask you this. What are the top 2 formats that you like the most and that you find yourself using the most, on the most?
Facebook and Instagram right now.
Then those are the 2 social media formats that you should focus on. And luckily Sam's also studying Instagram, and it sounds like you guys have a girl or a friend named Kelly that also is really rocking Instagram, so you guys can learn about that together. I mean, social media, if you spread yourself too thin, it's not going to work for you at all. So you really have to hone in. Obviously, Facebook is a no-brainer. You should always have Facebook. It's your home base. But then find an alternative to where you can meet people through hashtags, or meet people through YouTube, or through, LinkedIn, or I even have some friends that are focusing on Pinterest. So use that as like it's been described to me as your Facebook is your home base. Your number 2 social media is like your vacation home. So you meet people at your vacation home, but then you always contact them, when you get home, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kind of. For me, it's YouTube. I love making videos. Some people love taking pictures and doctoring them up so it's appealing to the eye. That's what Instagram is. Find something that you really love to do and that you get excited about. And for me, It's making videos and getting in front of people, which is a Sapphire's gift. So if you are any part Sapphire, you should be making videos. Mm-hmm. Sam, how are you Sapphire?
Me personally, there's been debate between me and several of the team members. I am like 50-50 Ruby Sapphire, my personal opinion. But ultimately, I think I got like 5-10% more Ruby in me. The only thing I like more than others is winning. So yeah, that's pretty much my personal thing. So anyway, but hey, we're curbing down the competitiveness and lifting other people up and all that great stuff. The Ruby strengths and weaknesses and all that. So
we're gonna be just fine. We are gonna level you out. Trust me, I was like you when I first came in. I was the Ruby, but I had all the negative parts of the Ruby, the aggressiveness and the wanting to just run at full speed and then crash for a week. And there's hope.
Good. Great.
There's
all
hope.
of your assets of your Sapphire will shine through. And your Ruby. It'll be good. So, Wendy, did that help?
Yeah, it did. It did. And actually, I just want to tell you, I love your YouTube videos. I've watched so many of them, and I've had so many people compliment you on them to me, and that we're excited about this call. And where are they? I don't know. Like, oh my gosh, Lindsay's going to be on.
You're watching the recording and then bummed because they get to talk to us personally.
Exactly.
But thank you, because that feedback really encourages me to go on to continue to make them, because I really like to do them. So if Instagram is something that you really like to do and you find yourself on there every single day, I watch YouTube videos every single day, whether it's in the background when I'm working or on the top of the shower while I'm getting ready. It's always on. So that's the format that I really like to use. So pick one or pick two. Facebook obviously is one, so you want to master that. You want to master Facebook. That's no brainer. But then you get to choose your other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But don't try and master them all. It's too much.
No, I tried.
Jeremy.
I tried that. And and burned.
Yeah. It just takes up a lot of time, and I've tried it too. I've tried delegating, actually paying somebody to manage my Twitter, paying somebody to do my Instagram, and I was working YouTube.
Wow.
It was way too much.
Yeah.
Nothing was really getting done. Nothing was really consistent. So now that I don't actually have anybody working my social media formats anymore, I just do the YouTube and Facebook, and it's all good.
Cool.
So how do you, with your YouTube videos, do you get prospects from there?
I do. Actually, I find people that search for Danny Johnson, and then they find me, and then they want to get into business, which is great, because then you've already got somebody with that frame of mind.
Right.
Who wants to partner with you. So you kind of back end them into something that they may be searching for aside from, Beachbody products. Yeah, you can always start out with product demonstrations are always key for YouTube. If you want to start out making videos, do a recipe of a shake, or film yourself, with a portion working out, or, do a product demonstration of some sort. It's always a good way to start out. But then share your results. And the results for people on YouTube are usually the ones that get the most hits.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know where we got into that from, but I hope that was helpful for you.
Somebody else can take a turn.
Let's go to Jeremy. You're going to go down. We're just going around in the circle. Hey, New York.
All right. So I'm relatively new, maybe barely a month into the program. Still trying to do a lot of the training. And my question is how am I going to go public? This might have already been in the training, but what I don't want to do is come out too aggressive with my first Facebook post.
Right.
I want to, I'm a customer of the product, and I'm a brand new coach. So I'm trying to figure out how I do this and when's the proper time.
Okay. Well, tell me more about the results that you've gotten from the program.
Well, we're my wife and I are a weekend. We've just started week 2 today. So that's about as far as we've gotten in. My wife's lost about 5 pounds in that first week. I've lost about 3-4 pounds in the first week.
That's awesome.
We feel good. We're feeling great. Sticking to the meal plans and the Shakeology, and that's working great.
Okay. So what is your overall goal here? Like, what are you working towards?
Well, small picture. changing our lifestyles first. My wife and I, we were the type of people who just kind of eat whatever we want. Myself, my background, I'm in the military, so I've stayed relatively fit my entire life. But I only really worked out to train Marines, or because because I had to, because it was my job. So now I'm kind of taking the initiative to do it, in my home and on my own time. Big picture, become a successful coach.
Okay. Okay. What does successful look like to you?
I guess it depends on what kind of a timeline I put myself on. If I want to be able to replace my income in the next 3, 4, 5 years, I want to put myself on a track that's gonna, I want to pace myself so I can reach that eventually.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, what you're mainly looking for right now is you're mainly looking for a clientele, because you want to build up a clientele first of people using the products, because then you have stories to share. And then the stories you're going to share with people that are going to bring more clientele. But then the best coaches that you're going to find, the best business partners, are going to be people that are using the products first, and then they naturally just upgrade to become a partner with you. It just kind of makes sense to them. And that's really what we want. We want it to make sense for them instead of it making sense in our head for them to be working with us, right? Because we can look at people and we can see them that they would make a great coach because it makes sense in our head. But somehow we have to get it to make sense in their head, right? That's the big debacle.
Right, yeah.
So if you're looking for a clientele, a great way to come out and basically promote or to advertise, and this is the same way that I do it for my new people when they're starting out too, is on social media, you put out your 30-second story. If Sam has talked to you about this, it sounds something like this. Prior to getting started, I come from a military background. I only worked out because I had to. It was a chore for me. I only did the bare minimum to get by. Now that I've discovered, Beachbody or whichever program that you're doing, my wife has lost 5 pounds. I've lost 3 to 4 pounds. We're feeling great. It feels good to take the initiative on our own. If you were like I was, and you were doing only the bare minimum to get by, contact me today to get started on our challenge group or something like that. Sam, do you have that document perhaps from Dynasty about the 30-second story?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't shared that a lot, and I'm going to ask you a question in a bit about that, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, that would be a good way to come out and just be like, hey, I represent all of these programs, and now I work for this company, and I'm looking for people to buy products, because that's going to get people to turn away.
Right.
People are not on Facebook to shop. They're on Facebook to communicate. So if you have something to talk about, they'll talk about it with you. We kind of got to give them something to talk about. So you want to share your results. Your results are really what people are looking for. And just because you're new doesn't mean that you don't have significant results to share. There's people that, for me anyway, it took me 3 or 4 years before I could lose 5 pounds and keep it off. I would lose 5, gain 5, lose 5, gain 5. That was a nasty yo-yo. So for me to hear that your wife lost 5 pounds in the last 2 weeks would give me hope that perhaps what she's doing may help me finally lose the 5 and not gain it back. That doesn't mean that I'm going to reach out to you, Jeremy, today and ask you if I can buy you a challenge pack, but I'm going to keep my eye on you, and maybe next week I'm going to watch and see if posted for any more results, or in the coming weeks I'll keep watch. You will have people that will reach out to you right away. Those are the people that more than likely were shown some sort of information by somebody else and they didn't follow up with them, so they just left them hanging. Well, then Jeremy comes out and he posts his and his wife's results from these programs for the last 2 weeks, and this person was not closed on getting started themselves, so they come to you and they're like, oh, well, maybe Jeremy can give me some direction. People are looking for direction. You literally have to take their hand and walk them through the process. That's why the whole foundation of the 30-second story first has a prior to getting started. Actually, I'm going to get this out. Everybody get a pen and paper, because this is what you're going to write down. We're going to go through it right here. So the first part to your 30-second story, this is amazing to share on Facebook because it's short, it's sweet, and everybody responds to it. Plus, you can say this aloud. So there's 5 parts to it. Part 1 is your name, where you're from, and prior to. You know, this would be if you're sharing in front of an audience. When you're on Facebook, they already know who you are. They're your friends. You can just say, you know, prior to getting started, insert here. The number 2 is your problems, your me toos. This is where you create a bridge with somebody. Let's take Jeremy, for example. Maybe there's other guys in the military that were only doing the bare minimum to get by. There's a lot of women in the military that only do the bare minimum to get by. Or, you know, when you're young and you don't work out a lot, like a lot of the people that I work out with or that I work with are women who in their high school years and college years didn't have to work out a lot. So they didn't. And now they look at Burger King and they gain 10 pounds and they have no idea where to start because they've never had to do anything like this before. So they go to the girl that they know who has been fit, who has gotten the results. So that's that person that you want to be. So you want to build the bridge of me toos. You want to pull out of them what they're feeling right now. You're going to relate to people best in the midst of your struggles, not with your success, because they're in that struggle right now. So that's number 2. Number 1 is prior to getting started. Number 2 is your problems, your whatever you were struggling with. And then number 3 is your solution. I started Beachbody. I started P90X3. What would be wise and what I really encourage you to do is completely erase the brand names. Don't mention anything about Shakeology, P90X, or Beachbody. Don't say it. Say something like, I started a fitness program, or I started a new regimen. I started I'm working with a coach, you know, something like that, something very generic to where they kind of look and they're like, oh, well, I wonder what they're doing. I wonder what he's drinking. I wonder what program they're doing, because then they're going to ask questions. When you give somebody all of the information, all the details right away, 2 things are going to happen. 1, they're going to look it up on their own. So they're going to go, oh, well, Jeremy's doing P90X3. I better go on Google and see what this is. Oh, it's $60 on Amazon. I'll just buy this here. You never hear from them until 3 months later. They say that they've been doing the program and they're like, thanks for introducing it to me. And you missed out the opportunity to work with them, right? So that could happen. Or the next thing that could happen would be, shoot, I lost my train of thought. Or the next thing that could happen is they didn't have a good experience with a Beachbody coach prior to this, somebody that was spamming their Facebook all of Shakeology, somebody that was coming at them in an aggressive way. And that prior experience they're going to look at you and they'll be like, oh, well, Jeremy's just like that. I don't want anything to do with it. So you want to avoid that resistance. You have enough working against you in the beginning that you don't need to add to it. So you can get into detail when you take it to private message. That's when you exchange information. Would you watch a video if I sent you one? Schedule the follow-up call. Send them the video about the product. 2 or 3 videos that they can review. They're only like 5 minutes long on Beachbody YouTube. And then you can talk with them that way. Did that help?
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Use the results. No matter how small you think and insignificant you think they are right now, just like I told you, I was that girl who wanted to lose that 5 pounds. So really dissect it all. You know, how good are you feeling? What does feeling good mean? Does it mean like when you wake up in the morning and you're ready to go, you don't need any coffee anymore? People are yearning for those things. So really get into detail and hone in on what's working for you right now. You're going to do great.
All right.
All right. Stephanie, it's nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you too.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good. So my only question is, I'm having trouble having people request or wanting to join a challenge group on Facebook, but they won't send the friend request, even though they say they're going to. So is there a trick to doing from Instagram?
Talking about getting a friend request from another form of social media to Facebook to do the challenge group.
So you're losing them when you're saying, will you add me on Facebook, or trying to transition them to home base?
They'll figure out the challenge group, but so then I just send them a link to Facebook, but they're not sending the request. Even though, they want to be part of the group. That sounds awesome.
So is it somebody that you probably have never met before, right? And they need to add you on.
No, it's everyone I've never met before.
Okay. Well, I probably am not the best person to answer this question, but I can answer it to you in the best of my ability, and then I can lead you to some information that my friend Brianna is really good at Instagram. I met her that's how her and I met. She did a training in Chicago that I got on video where she talks about how to transition people from Instagram to Facebook. So what I will do is I'll answer best of my ability, and then I'm going to send you, Sam, that video at the end of this call so that you can post that to your page.
Definitely.
Okay. Awesome. So the only thing that I can imagine what is kind of going wrong is the thing with cold leads is you have to build up their trust. You have to build your trust with them before they're going to basically do anything for you. It's kind of like when we encourage all of our organization to get on the phone when you're following up with people. You can meet and greet on Facebook and form and give information, but you follow up on the phone. And some of us have trouble with getting people to actually answer. Like, they'll give you your phone number and they'll schedule a time, but then they won't answer. Some people just won't even answer that question at all. When they find out you want to call them, they're like, what, weird. Well, the only reason why they feel it's weird is because you don't have that relationship with them yet. So it might be wise to, when you give that challenge group invite, whoever wants to be in my challenge group, post below, and then they post their email below. It might be wise to go over to their page, like a few of their pictures, ask a couple questions, get a little personal, so they feel like, oh, okay, well, this person, wants to be my friend. She's taking interest in my page. Maybe I should proceed and I should add her on Facebook, right? So it's going to take a little bit more work on your part, but I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. That relationship that you have with somebody, it's going to be worth it right now. You're missing a few people just because, you're you've got your agenda full speed ahead, challenge group. So go to their profiles, like them, compliment on a few of their pictures, just so that they know you're there and that you mean a little bit more than something. That could be the next Beachbody Challenge winner. That could be the next person on stage winning $100,000, and you're out there crying in the crowd because you met them on Instagram a year before, and who knows what that person could really be. So take a couple minutes and get to know them a little bit better, and I think your ratio is going to improve.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, Deborah.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good.
Where are you from?
Same place as Stephanie.
Stephanie, where are you from?
You guys already did that.
Deborah, how can I help you?
Well, I'm really new to this.
Welcome.
And I guess I have all kinds of questions, but I think my biggest thing is how I did listen to you. I did come in right before you started with the 30-second story about, having people come in with at the same, at the same time you're having problems too, but that I am overweight. I'm like 72 pounds overweight, and it's hard for me to feel like they're going to take me seriously as a coach for Beachbody if I don't look in shape enough to be a coach.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is huge because you're not the only one. This is probably actually 25% of all Beachbody coaches, actually probably 50% of them all think about this before they become a coach or, at the beginning. So I want you to think of this in a different way. Instead of feeling like you're the coach who, knows everything and has to be the leader and has to have everything in place before I can take anybody, to where they need to go, completely abandon that idea. And I want you to pick up the idea of finding partners, people to come alongside you, because you've got a long road to run, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to need a great group of people to run alongside you, where you're not going to make it all the way to the finish line. It's going to take more than one person, right, to help you get to that end point.
Right.
So the idea is, every quarter mile, you bring somebody else right beside you. And by the end of that 10-mile race, man, you've got a posse. That's leadership. It's not somebody standing at the top of the mountain and saying, hey, everybody, come up here, and, I'm going this way, and try and keep up, kind of a thing. It's asking people to come alongside you, because you need that accountability right now, Deborah, right?
Right.
You're in the midst of your struggle. You're always in the trenches, and so am I. It's important to be real with people and to be raw and to say that, I've started and I'm sure you've gotten results already. Tell me more about the results that you've gotten so far with the program.
I've lost 6 pounds.
That's awesome.
I ran a 5K on Friday and did a lot better than I did in August with my other 5K. And I have had somewhat better energy. 3 kids will drain it out of you, so.
Yeah. Cool. So those are the things that you want to celebrate. And just like Jeremy, you're going to share your results and speak of the long road that you've got ahead and ask for people to come alongside you. I'm looking for a couple partners to help me stay accountable. Message me for information. Test group starting soon. Have you watched the, what program are you doing, Deborah?
PIO.
Cool. Okay. Okay. Well, what you can do is there's a video called how to promote the 21-day fix like a pro. And there's almost 10,000 people that have watched it. And if you go through the comments below, you're going to see tons of people have gotten fabulous results using this system. Now, this system is something that I described to Jeremy that you just kind of put out on Facebook, and it's like you're coming out, kind of coming out from behind the curtain kind of a thing. And the way that you word it, and there's a couple variations in there, the way that you would word it, Deborah, would be ideal for you, because it says at the end that I'm looking for a few partners to come alongside me and stay and keep me accountable. And that's really what you're looking for right now, right?
Right.
So does that mindset, do you feel like that mindset would work better for you moving forward?
I think so.
Looking for partners rather than looking to lead people. When you look at leadership in that kind of a way, it scares you and it makes you feel like you're inferior and that you don't measure up, right?
Right. Right.
So that can't be the way that you approach leadership. Approach leadership in the way that you're looking for people to come alongside you, and you're looking to take people along this road with you, because you know you're not going to be able to do it alone. And you don't have to. So then it's exciting, because you think of all the people that will be coming alongside you, and not everybody will rush to you at once. Just like Jeremy and I were talking about, it's going to take people a while, weeks. They might watch you months. When you get to the point where you're in this for 3 years, you have people watching you for 3 years before they come to you. But as long as you're moving forward, man, you're showing them that you're going, and then you're going to follow through, because you're going to follow through, right, Deborah?
Yeah.
So then put it out there. You're looking for people to come with you because you're going. And a lot of people are lacking direction right now. Like we said, they need to be handheld and taken in the direction of where they want to go, or else they won't follow through. You can do this. You can do this, Deborah. Did that help you?
Yes. Thank you.
Good. All right, Sam.
Awesome.
Who do we have next?
Next, Mantha, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Can you
Mantha,
hear
meet
me?
Lindsay.
Yes.
Hi,
I'm a big
Mantha.
fan. Hi, I'm a big fan. I used to watch your videos on YouTube, and it's funny that I'm meeting you like in person, kind of.
I know, I wish we could shake hands.
Good job on the videos and everything. Well, my question is basically about time management, because 1 minute. Can you give me 1 minute? I'm currently like applying to med school. So if everything should go through, I should be in school by next year. And I'm just a little worried about how much time I'm going to be able to, like, because I've been watching your videos on the Power Hour, and it takes me a longer time to invite people, like maybe 2 or 3 hours. So I'm just like, how do you invite people and still, keep it to an hour?
Okay. Well, I do have a friend who is actually, she's a little more than a friend. She was the second coach that I ever enrolled, and she's makes the most income out of any of my coaches, and she is in the middle of dental school, her second year in. And so she's in graduate school right now. So she's already gotten her undergrad and she's in graduate school, and she's been a coach now for 3 years, and she makes it work because that Power Hour is focused and intense hour. She goes at her business, and everybody's going to build their businesses differently. She has seasons of where she's active, and then she has seasons of where she's not as active. She does is in the seasons that she's active, like in the summertime when she has more time, she's going to be running those challenge groups. She's going to be building up her clientele, because then what's going to happen is she's going to find some coaches out of that clientele. Your best coaches are going to come from your clientele. That's why you build a clientele first, because it's a lot easier to go up and sign a bunch of people up on the products and build a bunch of stories than it is to go present the business to a lot of people that are unfortunately resistant to the idea. When they get started on the products first, then they naturally gravitate to the idea by themselves. With you opening some doors, yes. Have you ever considered becoming a coach? Things like that. Sorry, I'm taking you off on a bunny trail. But what she was doing is she would build up her clientele in the summertime, and then she'd get some quality coaches from that. And those coaches would go on, and those coaches would actually produce. So it would make up from what the season that she's not able to work as hard. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Not that she's, putting all of her eggs in one basket, like those coaches better carry me through that, famine season. That's not what it is. It's just being consistent enough and not being a slave to your business. Isn't something that you have to work for 40 hours, and you don't need 2 to 3 hours to invite someone. You can have a conversation with them, but I encourage you to get on the phone. If you've only got an hour and you have other priorities that you need to take care of, and your life needs to be balanced and things like that, get on the phone with people. You can have a quick conversation in 10 to 15 minutes in a message that would take you online 2 to 3 weeks. Right? Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tell me more about your conversations with people. Are you mainly online?
Yeah, for now, mainly online. And I think for my coaches, I do phone calls, but not for my customers and clients.
Tell me why. It's funny because I did the same thing, and I just want to.
I don't know. I just feel like, they don't know me that well. And yeah, I guess that's the main reason. Like, I don't want to freak them out and be like, give me your number. And then they're like, I don't know,
But if they're your client, they bought something from you. They invested in you, right?
So how do you ask for their number? Like, do you just give them your number, or how does it work?
There's a follow-up process that we use. Have you heard of the book GoPro?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've read it.
Okay. Do you have it on you?
No.
Do you have one with you? Do you still have one with you?
No, I'm at work right now.
Oh, but you have one at home.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to go to the chapter. It's called the chapter on, shoot, where's my book? Sam can probably find it. You have GoPro, right?
My Kindle is good. Okay, cool. I wasn't expecting that. It's the chapter on the follow-up, correct, Lindsay?
Yeah, nobody should own GoPro just on your Kindle. This needs to be a physical book.
Cool.
If I could, hold on.
I have mine. It's actually,
Okay.
it's
Good.
chapter 7.
Yes.
Chapter 7.
Chapter 7.
Marked
Thank you.
up.
So ratted up this book.
Thanks, Wendy.
I love this book. Like, it's falling apart.
It has to be. This is a resource book right here
Yes.
in your, it's the follow-up, right? Is that what you said, Wendy?
Yes.
If I would you.
7.
Yes. Page 57. We found the page. Read page 57. What page 57 does is it helps you present the idea of getting on the phone with that person. If I were to show you a video, would you watch it? Yes. Great. It's 5 minutes long. When do you think you'll watch it? For sure. Tomorrow night. Great. So if I call you on Wednesday, you'll have watched the video, right? Yes. Great. What time works for you? It's just a natural progression of the conversation. And it's not awkward. It's only awkward if you make it. Have you ever heard of people that say that?
Yeah.
What I wanted to get is we treat our coaches more valuable than we treat our clients. And that's why you're willing to get on the phone with them, but you're not willing to get on the phone with your clients. Switch your mindset, because your clients are equally as important as your coaches. Because like we were talking before, you have no idea what that client can potentially come. Behind that client is 2,000 people that you don't know. 2,000 people that person could be walking around talking about how great Manza's challenge group is. Manza helped me lose 10 pounds. Do you want people walking around talking about like that? You like that?
Yeah, of course.
Then you got to treat them like they're your best friend. Not that you're going to, you obviously have your priorities where if you're married, your spouse comes first and your work comes, third in my realm of things. But what I'm saying is go out of your way to send thank you cards and to call them on the phone. You can have a spot call. Like on Fridays, I call my customer leads. If you want to talk about some phone calls that your warm market and your clients, man, they are going to be welcoming that phone call. If you want to call your customer leads, you're going to get hung up on at least twice. I can tell you that because it happens to me every single week. Out of 25 calls, I get hung up on at least twice. You cannot take it personally. But those people don't know me, so they have a reason to question whether to get on the phone with me. Just like we were talking about cold leads on Instagram. You need to build up a relationship before they're going to be willing to transition to Facebook with you or to schedule that follow-up phone call with you. Your clients, man, you already have a relationship. They just invested sometimes $200, $300 into you. They're worth a phone call, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So have fun with it.
Yeah.
And they can bring you people. Pretty soon you're going to be spending half of your power hour, talking with people on the phone for referrals because your clients are sending them to you. We get at least 3 to 5 referrals every single week. And sometimes these people are people that I haven't talked to in years that on Facebook said, hey, you should follow my friend Lindsay. She can help you out. And then this person messages me. And I ask them, how do you find out? From my friend that I haven't talked to in 2 years. That takes time. But I just made this focus. See, you guys are so lucky that that you get this information now. It took me 3 freaking years to figure this out. I valued my coaches so much more for 3 years, 2.5 years, I should say, because this shift just happened within the last 4 months. I've had rock star challenge groups in the last 4 months. I hated running challenge groups for 2.5 years until I finally made the switch to where I value my clients and I realized that this is the foundation. This is where it all starts.
Yeah.
It's all stars. So they're worth that phone call. That phone call is going to get so much more done than it will just messaging with people. Get out from behind the computer screen. Host an event on a weekend. Bring some friends over to work out. There's so many different ways that you can get in front of people and to get them involved with you. It's not just on social media. The people that work the most, get really tight hip flexors, are the people that are sitting on computer all day. That was me at one point. I was on the computer for 12 hours a day. My sapphire died. I fell into a depression, and this was 8 months ago. So don't let yourself sit behind that computer screen and rely on that to be your sole source of interacting with people and sharing this with them and getting them involved in things like that. Just think outside the box. If you're going to go to med school, and that means that you know a lot of people and that you have a really great opportunity to find people and to meet them in really different ways. So sorry if that was too much.
Oh, no.
But
Okay.
that portion in GoPro, that's going to be your ticket to getting people on the phone. It works. Just follow it. Deal?
Deal. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Cool.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
All right, Lee. You are the caboose.
Sorry?
She says you're the.
Yeah.
Hi.
I can't hear you right now. Say it again.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, hi. I'm good. How are you?
Good. How can I help you?
Well, Stephanie had one of my questions, but my other one was.
Yeah, I love it when that happens.
People show when I'm getting them on Facebook or I already have them on Facebook and they're interested in challenge packs. And we have a set date to talk and time. But then when I go to talk to them on the time, they ignore me. Happened every time so far.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or I don't know.
Okay, perfect. Leanne, have you ever followed up with anybody on the phone?
On the phone? No. I was supposed to go to somebody's house, but then she canceled, so we made up another time, and then she ended up just ignoring me. But
okay. It's going to be real simple, which is great. It's the same thing as Manta. 37, right? 57. Was that page, Wendy?
57.
57. 57. Leanne, you own GoPro, right?
soon.
Yes. Do you not own this book?
Sorry?
Do you not own this book yet?
I'm getting it from Mansa. She's sending it in the mail to me.
Oh, good. Okay. This is going to answer so much for you. It's going to be great. I want you to write this down. When you get this book in the mail, number 57 or page 57 is going to be your answer to this. There's a couple different reasons why the social media follow-up isn't your best option. For one, it kind of creates the sense that you're chasing them. And it's not good for us because we get worried about, what do they think of the video and what if they didn't watch it and, they're not answering me, so they don't want anything to do with it. We allow this to manifest in our head when in reality, we have no idea what's going on that other side of the computer screen. They could have gotten in a freak accident and they're flipped outside on the interstate right now. And that's why they're not answering you. We literally have no idea what's going on behind that computer screen, which only causes us stress and makes us question ourselves. So you're gonna avoid that entire thing by scheduling all your follow-ups on the phone. Because one, it shows that person that you really care about them and that you're not just willing to stay behind the computer screen, but you're gonna get up and you're going to do something different, and you're going to call them on the phone. They're expecting you just to follow up on Facebook, So it's a professional move. That's what it is. It's amateur versus professional. Which one are you? The amateur is going to stay behind the computer screen and try and do everything virtually. There's no personal contact in there. The professional is going to make the phone call and follow up with them on the phone, because that does develop a professional, that does develop a relationship with them, and they're more inclined to continue with you in future challenge groups or refer people to you or even become a partner with you. Once again, you really have no idea where that relationship is going to go, so you really want to get off on the right foot. I've done both, and we've seen the most improvements with people's closing on the phone. Right? Doesn't it make sense though?
Yeah, it does.
Because it's the computer screen is just it screws with us, and it really creates a high tech. So you want a high tech and a high touch business. You don't want a high tech, low touch business. Those businesses don't last. There's no relationship there. So if you're going to work high tech, you must also integrate the high touch. And the best way that we've done that is through the phone. Having phone calls or even video chats. When the 21-day fix came out, I was having video chats with people. That's meaningful. If you ever want to have a meaningful follow-up with someone, schedule a video chat where you can really see them. And it's a real test for you, because you're going to be reading the script and you're going to be doing it in front of somebody instead of just reading it when you're on the phone. It's a challenge for all you Rubies out there. Jeremy, you must be a Ruby.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's in the training. Chill.
Yeah.
No, he's coming through it. But speaking of which, Leanne, did you have another question?
Oh, that's it.
Okay, cool.
Does that help?
Yeah.
The Power Hour video, have you watched that?
No.
Ooh, Sam, have you watched that?
Yes, I have. And the Power Hour is actually in a written form, but now we're going to get into video starting probably tomorrow. So, yeah.
Well, that video, we talk about getting on the phone. We talk about amateur versus professional.
Cool.
It'll be good.
Awesome. We'll go back and get that. Awesome. Cool. Does anybody else have any questions for Lindsay specifically that you had in mind? Anybody?
I hope this helped tonight. It was fun talking with you guys, and I feel like you're going to be in this position in 3 years where you're going to be giving this advice. You know, I don't know everything. I'm still learning. I've gone through a lot of the ups and downs so that I can share that experience with you, and I'm very humbled that you had all these great questions, because at least it's better for you to ask and get a straight answer than try it on your own and kind of fail like I did. So
awesome.
So thank you.
Lindsay, you mind if I ask like one or two like last quick questions before you get off?
Sure. Okay,
very quick. How important is it for somebody to get to first steps of success with Danny Johnson?
Well, let me just tell you, my first year in business, I was the person that felt like this business was, I really wanted a successful business. I felt like this was going to give me a name for myself, that people were going to see me as successful. And, you know, there are some things that had happened with my family in the past that I didn't want my name associated with that. So I saw this as a chance to, you know, rise up and create something new for myself. So I tried really hard. And when I mean really hard, I spent hours and hours trying and convincing people and, you know, presenting and trying to close and doing all these things. And it only resulted we got to 3-star diamond, but we lost it within 2 weeks. And it was because I had done everything for my people and they didn't know what to do at that point, because I could only teach them what I knew and I barely knew anything. So I was at a desperate place, and some of you may not be in that desperate place, and hopefully you won't wait until you're in that desperate place enough to make that investment. Because what I can tell you is we went to our first steps, and that was coming out of that first steps. I had my first $1,000 week within 2 months of that first event. And so I went back and I went to creating a dynasty, which is you can't even qualify for that event until you go to the first one. And so coming out of that event, our income doubled in 6 months. We developed 6 diamond coaches in 6 months coming out of first steps. not only that, but it did a real doozy on our relationship. Ryan and I were together for 6 years. We were living together for 3 years. And we hadn't made that commitment to each other. And coming out of this seminar, I decided that we are going to either move forward or we're not going to move forward, or we're going to go our separate ways. So we sold his car, bought our engagement ring, paid for our wedding in cash in 5 months with the skills that we learned at First Steps. So it's really up to you how long you're willing to kind of, I imagine myself, my first year in business, like a fish out of water, flopping back and forth, just like barely trying to survive. And if that's how you feel right now, that you're putting all this work into it and you feel like you're just kind of spinning your wheels and you don't really know what to do or where to go from here, or if this is even going to be worth it, I would hate for you to the point where you're, making money and helping all these people and you've got this huge sphere of influence and you ask yourself, is this even worth it? So I'm bringing my mom this weekend for her second time, and her story is a little bit different. She is full of anxiety and depression, and she just is at a crossroads in life. And so it's not only for Beachbody people, and it's not only going to improve your business, but you have to decide how long you're willing to wait. If you're going to be that flip-floppy fish for 2, 3, 4 years, I was only that flip-floppy fish for a year before I decided that I needed help. Yeah. And back to that, if you don't want to train your people, if you're brand new to this and feel like you barely know what you're doing, the best thing that you can do is bring people alongside you and plug them into the expert, because then you can go both together. See, the reason why my rank fell was because I was trying to teach my people and I barely knew anything. So now what we do is we plug everybody in to the main vein. It's a training system for us. It weans out the cream at the top and the whiners at the bottom. If you're not willing to make this investment, I really have to question whether or not you're going to be here a year from now with us still, because I don't know if you're going to make it through the frustrations that are ahead. That's what I'm asking my people when it's actually mandatory that in our coach application, they agree to traveling within the first 3 months they're in business. So it's non-negotiable, because again, we find the cream at the top and the whiners at the bottom. And I want people that are going to be here with us a year from now. And like I said, I don't know if you will be, because the frustrations that lie ahead, and if you don't know how to deal with them, you're going to throw in the towel. And I won't have anybody that throws in the towel, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hope that helped.
Absolutely. No, and thank you so much. You actually answered all the last questions that I wanted to. Yeah, because I've made such a huge difference in your business, and I've gotten the privilege of hearing that story. So, yeah, thank you so much again. Thank you again so much for your time, for the willingness to take out of your day to be able to talk to us and spend some time with the team. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for making it here at Monday night, 8:00 Central Standard Time, every single Monday. Other than that, thank you so much, Lindsay.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure to meet you all. I'd love to continue this conversation. If you want any clarifications on anything, you can message me. I will provide you, Sam, with that video of the Instagram transition.
Yes.
And we'll do that Power Hour so everybody can watch that. That Power Hour video, that's gold, man. There's also 10,000 people that have watched that video. If you scroll through the comments, you're going to see all of the improvements that people have made in their businesses. So best of luck to you. May God bless you. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lindsay.
Guys, thank you for your time tonight. Have a great night. We will talk to y'all later. People are going to tell you this mountain's too high. Your goals are too long. You got to climb this other mountain. It's too slippery. It's too steep. What are you going to tell them?
Going to the top.
Sweet. Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you at the top. But other than that, have a great week, and I'll talk to you Monday night, 8:00 Central Standard.
All right. Have a good night.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.